Hello, welcome to the PhoneWord Forum for Wednesday, October the 29th, 2014. It is 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and today we're going to be talking about funding open source collaborative development. And specifically, we're going to be talking about a pilot project that's underway with PhoneWord workshops for developing open source code around a platform for consolidating addresses and using end-user opt-in enum, creating a registry, creating browser-based connectivity, and what I'm calling address harmony. So I'm not expecting many, if any, people today because I was late in getting the announcements out, and we did have a change in the topic for today. We had been scheduled to have Dr. Robin Hanson of George Mason University with us today talking about market-based security approaches, or market-based network security approaches. And Dr. Hanson will be joining us in January, the last Wednesday of January, instead of today. So today we're going to take the opportunity to talk about a new way, pioneering a new model for funding open source development. And I'm going to be going through a presentation that you can find at phonewordworkshops.com. I've sent out the presentation to some of the distribution lists for the PhoneWord Forum, so you should have that available in a PDF. And we're just going to be talking basically about this new model. Part of the PhoneWord initiative is experimenting with new business models, and I would say this definitely falls into that category. So in addition to experimenting and innovating with technology, we're also interested in innovations with business models as well as policy and other elements of the entire ecosystem that's being ushered in with this new era, especially with the transition from the public switch telephone network into an all internet protocol environment. So I'm going to switch over to the presentation. And by the way, this presentation I've gone over in detail on the PhoneWord Workshops website, so you can find it there. So I'm just going to basically skim through this a little bit. So you should be able to see it now on your screen. And if you're not familiar with PhoneWord Workshops are sort of the nuts and bolts, let's build something element that is a separate entity from phoneword.com. However, there's sort of like sister entities. And the PhoneWord Workshops are designed to do technical development primarily on the second Wednesday of the month and the third Wednesday of the month. So we invite you to tune into that. However, the topics are usually quite technical in nature. So if we go to the second slide, if you're following along by listening to this, the second slide is basically topics. What's the intention? Well, the intention is to explore innovation. And specifically, we're looking to explore this bounty program, which is a new model for funding open source software and development. And in addition to it being a real-time collaborative platform, this also has the elements of being a recruiting platform or an introduction to connect talented developers and web developers and designers to companies that are interested in innovation. So I'm going to skip through the agenda, and the intention again is to foster collaboration, innovation in web and telephony, and innovation in these 4 areas of technology, business models, policy, and governance. The 5th slide shows basically what problem are we trying to solve, or what are one of the problems we're trying to solve, because actually this is a multi-dimensioned initiative. But what seems to have the most appeal to everybody and that they can identify with is address chaos. So all of us have this multitude of addresses that we deal with day to day. Email addresses, different email addresses, telephone numbers, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus, all these things are sort of scattered, and they don't really work together at this point. So the PhoneWord initiative, part of it is designed to introduce slide 6, which is address harmony. So what if these things worked together in somewhat of a unified fashion? And that's exactly what one of the problems that we're addressing with the PhoneWord initiative. So going to the next slide, it just simply illustrates that we're experimenting, we're exploring, we're also innovating. And out of that has sprung this bounty program. So what is the bounty program? Well, the bounty program is a way for a group of developers to work together on a project over a short period, 1 week, and then produce something, and that whatever they produce and whatever they do in terms of their collaborative work effort is made available to local companies that are interested in innovation, interested in connecting with web talent, that's developer talent and designer talent. And those companies will be invited to participate in a bounty auction at the end of the development cycle. So what's available for the developers is that they get to in 1/3 of 80% of the total bounty, and I'll go through the bounty schedule in a bit. There's a minimum bounty that's guaranteed, so they're actually paid for their time, and they get to work on open source software or an open source platform. They're also invited to select a virtual address of their choice that they are invited to develop over a 6-month period. And assuming they do that development, they create something around that address, then they can hold on to that address for as long as they want to. They'll also have another address that's somewhat akin to whatever their name is or their company name. So there is also a set of incentives built into this so that the developers and designers that participate in the bounty projects can actually, they've got incentive to go on to the next bounty or the next level of participation in the bounty program. They get to collaborate with other developers. They vote among themselves regarding their performance and give each other feedback at the end of their short development cycle. And they'll also be invited to suggest projects that fit into the development of the PhoneWord platform. So that's from the developer and the designer's view. What's available for the sponsors, the invited sponsors? Well, this is an innovative way to connect with highly sought after developers and designers. It's also a way for the companies that are interested in innovation talent to see exactly what a set of developers and designers can produce. They at the end, assuming they're the winning sponsor, they get to speak directly to the developers and designers and talk about, okay, do we have a fit here between your talents, your style of working, and our company? The they also get to see, the winning sponsor actually also gets to see how the developers rated each other and what their feedback was to one another. So in addition, the winning sponsors will also have their name and their contact information associated with whatever that bounty project was. So they will be getting exposure to some of the top talent, certainly locally and eventually around the world. Next slide is slide 7, or excuse me, slide 10. And the bounty stages, or program stages, are public posting of the bounty. We've already done that. We've got developers that have committed to the first round. They've created code as of last night. And we'll take a look at some of that code and what they produced. And then starting on Monday, the 3rd of November, we will start the reverse auction to determine the winning sponsor of the project. And then there's an interview period between the developers and the winning sponsor. And then at that point, that round of the bounty project, or that bounty project, is complete. So going on slide 11, I'm not going to step through the specific details. You can do that on your own, but if you I'm going to just tell you which slides I'm skipping through. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is what I'd like to emphasize. Slide 16 shows how the reverse auction will work to determine who is the winning sponsor. So this is going to start, now this presentation is a little out of date. The schedule was pushed back. But basically on Monday, November the 3rd, instead of Friday, October the 24th, the bounty will start at $3,000. And at 5 p.m., the bounty auction will be open, and assuming one of the invited sponsors, which are major companies here in Arizona, are interested in directly connecting with the participants on the bounty project, they can do that by sponsoring the bounty for $3,000. If a winning sponsor does not step forward by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, November the 4th, the bounty will drop to $2,800, and so forth, all the way down to the minimum bounty is $800, and that's assuming that no company steps forward to fund the bounty. And that's the way the reverse auction works on this. So if we go on to slide 17, this is a breakout of how the bounty proceeds will be divided. Basically 80% to the developers and designers that work on the project, 20% remains with PHONEWORD Workshops, LLC, and this shows what the developer or designer can expect out of their participation. And basically, the participation should only take about 5 hours total. So 3 hours of development time, a half an hour on the front end and the back end, so that's 4 hours, and then maybe another hour of just miscellaneous activity. Well, actually, a half an hour will be time spent talking with the winning sponsor, and then maybe a half an hour in there, kind of a buffer for miscellaneous activities. So basically, for about 5 hours, a web developer or designer can A, make some money, B, work in a collaborative project where there's a learning environment that's available, and C, have their skill set and their talents presented simultaneously to many of the top companies in their area. So going on to slide 18, this is just more details on the timing. Talks about the conversation between the developer or designer and the winning bounty sponsor and the completion of the program. So this on slide 19 is an image of an example dialer. So this is what was given to the developers for the first team as sort of an example to build from. And we're actually going to watch a little bit of the video from last night where a web dialer was created during the 1-hour development session. And however, I'm going to skip to slide 20. And this just goes over the details of how the developer teams are formed, what some of the considerations are. Slide 21 shows some of the code example. 22 talks about the code, or excuse me, the peer-to-peer evaluation at the end. And slide 23 talks about the winning sponsors, the invited sponsors, and the winning sponsors. 24 talks about the conversation to connect the team members with the winning sponsor. And then 25, we're talking about this being a global opportunity. And slide 26 is important because this shows some of the tool set, the technical tool set that's being incorporated here, which is full stack JavaScript, WebRTC, telephony elements, and also security elements. So slide 27 is the conclusion that basically this is a new way for open source software to be created and an open source platform to be created and funded, and for talented developers to connect in a new way with enterprises, companies that might be interested in using them for contract work, full or part-time employment. And this gives the invited sponsor companies or the winning sponsor company a greater insight into how does this developer or designer fit within our culture, what's the sense of their skill set. So it's a much richer experience for the companies to get to know the developers and designers that they're considering engaging in some of their work processes. So slide 28, what's your idea? What's your feedback? Slide 29, this is an opportunity for developers and designers to distinguish themselves, and for companies that are interested in innovative talent to distinguish yourself by supporting open source collaborative development and having an insight into some of the most talented developers and designers that are out there. Slide 30 is basically the end slide. You can find more information at PHONEWORDworkshops.com. And let me skip over to last night's session. So this is actually a Google Hangout from last night where in less than an hour, a web-based dialer, this, was created. And the team consisted of Corey Kruger, Austin Wright. Corey's a front-end designer. Well, excuse me. He's a full-stack JavaScript developer, but he's particularly good at front-end development. Austin Wright, on the far right, is a very talented developer for, again, with full-stack JavaScript, but on the back-end side. that's really where his passion lies. And I'm sort of filling in as the third developer, although I'm a novice developer at best. So let me just play what occurred basically 48 minutes into our session, our 1-hour session. And this is where Corey basically created the web-based dialer. Let's see. Well, I'm not getting there. There we go. At least you'll be able to see this. For some reason, the audio. Anyway, I'm not sure why we're not getting audio on this. But you can see that Corey successfully built a web-based dialer. Tonight we will have another session on, and we will connect this to a back-end database. So if you're interested, you can see the session from last night at PhoneWordWorkshops.com. And again, look about 48 minutes into the session, and you can see that Corey was successful at building the dialer from scratch. We had a great collaborative session. And tonight we're going to be resuming at 9:30 Arizona time, and you're welcome to tune into that, which will be on Google Hangout, and you can watch it right on the website if you're interested. So in a nutshell, that's the PhoneWord Workshops Bounty Program, and we will see how successful this is, how viable it is, starting next week when the reverse auction starts. So far, the response has been excellent. The feedback's been very encouraging. We don't know if this will work or not. It's come together extremely well, and we'll see what the business result is next week. But this is a way to pioneer and innovate in the realm of business models around the creating a new open source platform to usher in a new level of connectivity for all of our addresses and other services. So that's about all I have today. I know we've got some people viewing this, and of course this is recorded and it'll be available for review. So I appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions, please email me at jcarpenter, that's JAYCARPENTER, at 1-800-phoneword.com. You can find that at phoneword.com. You're also welcome to give me a call at 602-228-4486. And I appreciate your attention. Please provide me with any feedback. Love to know what you think of this. If you see new opportunities for yourself, your company, please get in touch. And please come back and join us for future PhoneWord forums. The next one will be on November the 26th, and we will have Jaromir Talir from cz.nic. Jaromir is the architect for the FRED platform, which is a free registry for enum and domains. And he is with cz.nic, which runs the Internet Domain Registry for the Czech Republic. And we're going to be talking about what they've encountered in terms of running a registry, running an open source platform, and some of the considerations that they've experienced over the years in providing this platform. So please tune in. Thank you very much, and look forward to chatting with you in the future. Okay. All right. Have a great day.